So guys, here we are in front of the Vattakottai fort. So in this video I'm gonna explore something regarding this Vattakottai. This small Vattakottai fort located near the Kanyamari Vattakottai beach. So this is Vattakottai fort entrance. This fort was constructed during the period of Travancore kingdom in the southern tip of Kerala and Tamilnadu. So as you see, you can see many historical traces here, and this place was once upon a time strategical base for the Travancore army and a lot of stuff. So here we are standing in the entrance of the Vattakottai fort. Let's get into it. Let's talk some small history. This fort doesn't have a big history, but I have to say something, So let's go and check it out. Let's go and see the interiors of the fort. And if you're watching my channel for the first time, kindly support my channel, just subscribe, and you can follow me on social media like Facebook and Instagram. Okay, here we go. Look at that symbol. Look at the Travancore symbol, 2 elephants. Okay, those 2 elephants represents the Travancore government symbol. The entrance is not. Alright, let's enter the fort. Look at the place, guys. This place looks greenish and lush, beautiful. In the middle of the fort there's a small pond, man-made pond. Look at the surroundings. Tourists are coming here to just have a good time and enjoy. So guys, this fort's constructed in a square-shaped manner. This fort has 4 watchtowers and a small pond in the middle for storing the water, storing the rainwater, and using it for the cooking and bathing purposes.
I'll show you something.
During that period of time, many still soldiers they used to stay here in this fort, and this fort is a main strategical base to defend against the invaders who come via sea. Many invaders during that period of time, during the Travancore period, many invaders they come and invade via sea route to capture the kingdoms. This fort was especially built here to defend against these invaders who come via sea route. Okay, so sea route is very threatening. And during the period of time, they felt that sea invasion was a big threat to the government. So they decided to construct a fort over here. And also I showed you the well over there. They used the well to take groundwaters and use it for the cooking and drinking purpose. So this fort is constructed in a naturally resourceful area. So we have trees, sea, and everything around this place. Speaking of the Travancore kingdom, the Travancore kingdom was a small kingdom existed in the southern tip of Tamilnadu, Kerala. Once upon a time, the Travancore government, they fought wars against the Dutch company and some other invaders, but they were highly unsuccessful against the invaders. After many unsuccessful defeats, many unsuccessful raids, finally, the Travancore government, they, tasted a victory after fighting against the Dutch in the Collegial War. If you take a look at the history, you can find the Battle of Collegial, which was happened between the Dutch army and the Travancore army. Unfortunately, the Travancore army, they won against the Dutch forces. I'm not here to speak some trash. I'm not here to speak some idiotic things. I'm here to talk something which is factual and which is historical. I'm gonna talk historically. I don't have personal hate or personal vengeance on anyone or anything. So here we go. Coming back to the point. This is a small disclaimer, guys. That's why I said that thing. Coming back to the point. After the Battle of Collegial, the Travancore army, they defeated the Dutch and they conquered a few Dutch areas. And after that, things went fair, and Travancore was a little bit peaceful. But as far as the thing is concerned, Travancore was not an efficient kingdom in the southern part of Tamil Nadu or in the southern part of India. Because historically speaking, they constructed this fort around 18th century during the period of during the reign of King Martandavarma, and after that they won few wars. They were successful, and after a while they surrendered. They surrendered to the British. They didn't win a single war against the British. If you have more doubts regarding this one, just Google it. Just Google or see some references. You can find the actual history. Travancore hasn't won a single war against the British forces. They just surrendered to the British and they acted accordingly to the British orders. Alright, let's talk about the features of the fort. This fort has weapon storing areas, weapon storing places like storage rooms, places to store grains and food items, and but most of them are destroyed. Most of them have been destroyed by the invasions and after the change in the local kingdom. So, I would say this fort was strategically built to defend the invaders who come via sea. That's the only appreciating thing about this fort. And these fort walls are really thick. Even as a big cannon cannot penetrate the fort walls. The fort walls are that much stronger. I just went upstairs to see the fort walls, to see their thickness and their endurance. The fort walls were very nice, very strong, very effective against the cannons and the bullets. Nothing can penetrate the walls. Those walls were thick. And see, now you see, guys, this place was used as a shelter during the war times by the soldiers. Okay, guys, it's time to go. Climb the stairs and go up to see the beautiful scenic view. Okay, I'll go up and show you all the rest of the stuffs. You know what? One thing I like about this fort is the view. The beautiful panoramic view
from here.
It's totally mind-blowing. If you go up, if you climb the stairs and go up, you can see the beautiful sea view from the fort. Look at these walls. These fort walls are really thick.
A watchtower over there. And totally there are 4 watchtowers.
The
one
gaps
here,
in between
there,
the walls
over there,
especially
in each corners.
Used to snipe and shoot the opponents. Alright, many people are out here. People from many states, they are here to have some good time. They are sitting on the wall, sitting on the fort walls, just having some fun and having some great time over here. But the sun is still scorching. Man, it's too hot over here. Look at the view from here, guys. Look at the bluish green scenery.
From this fort you can see up to
green sea view, and look at that whole area.
4 kilometers
surrounded by sea and beautiful lush sceneries. This one makes this fort to stand apart from other Travancore forts. Look at this, there's a beach over here. Few people go there to have a good time, have some fun. Look, the wave is a little bit calm. The sea looks nice and pleasant. You can scout the enemies. You can scout the enemies up to 5 kilometers approximately. See these walls. These walls are too thick, made out of rock. Even a big cannon cannot penetrate the walls. If you take cover behind these walls, you're definitely safe. Alright, I've shown you the thickness of the walls. Let me show you the sniping points, sniping areas. So there's a gap between these two small walls. There's a small gap in between. each and everything. See, the small gap is used to see the outsiders and to scout the enemies. During the war times, this is crucial. They use these gaps to snipe and take down the enemies. Look at this one. This is the most crucial place. The enemies sit like this, as I'm sitting now. See, they aim, they shoot, and they take down the enemies. This place is used as a sniping area. All these areas. Look all these areas, guys. We have to give credits to the Travancore engineers for constructing these kind of strategical sniping areas. For this, I really appreciate Travancore Kingdom and the Travancore engineers for constructing these kind of strategic walls and strategic sniping points.
It's really nice.
When it comes to history, we cannot say the negative things about a kingdom. We have to appreciate the positive things they have
defensive
done.
strategy-யோட கட்டப்பட்ட ஒரு இதுதான் இந்த fort.
See the whole area. And now we have come here to a watchtower where you can stand and scout the enemies, speculate the outsiders. Look, there's a gap here. See, we can get a clear view from here. Used to watch and scout the outsiders. So here we are standing here in the watchtower and just watching the beautiful sea view. And now we have come here to another sniping point, just like the previous one that I've shown you. See, like that
same
one,
here. இங்க பாருங்க ஒவ்வொரு இடத்துலயும் உட்கார்ந்து சொல்ற மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு இடத்துலயும் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜிக்கா கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க. எதுக்குன்னா கடல் வழியா அட்டாக் பண்ற இன்வேடர்ஸ்
they sit in
defend பண்ண
those
defensive
walls.
purpose,
they use the gap
only for
to
defense,
and
strategic,
take down
strategically built
enemies. Alright guys, now we have come to another watchtower. That's nothing fascinating over there, so I have just come here to see some details. There are some detailings on those ceilings. Look at this one. There's a fish symbol. Fish symbol represents the Pandya kingdom in the Tamilnadu. But why? Why there's a fish symbol in this Vattakottai fort? This fort was built and this fort was maintained over a long time by the Travancore, but there's a fish symbol over here. That might be an artistic output or something. So we cannot question those kind of things. There are a lot of questions regarding that small fish carving on the ceiling. So let's put it aside. So guys, we talked some historical stuffs like the Travancore's war history and their strategic brilliance and about the architecture of this fort. I gotta give them the appreciation. They deserve it. Travancore is best in terms of architecture. Nothing much to explain, but Travancore has something to offer. Even you visit Travancore palaces, you can see the great architecture and great designings on the walls, ceilings. When it comes to architecture, Travancore buildings stands apart from the other buildings around Tamil or Kerala. So I have to appreciate them for their architecture. Thank you.